Hi, I'm Jinny Beyer. Welcome to the continuation of Lesson 4 in my series Working with Border Prints. I hope you enjoy it. This is Lesson 4, Part 2 in our Border Print series. This time we will continue working with the diamond. First and foremost, we're going to divide the diamond into half, one direction, and then the other to create 4 smaller triangles. We'll make a template from one of those triangles, add the seam allowance, and then add an arrow along the longest side of the triangle, which will indicate grain line when you place it on the fabric. So as you get your fabric, put the template onto the fabric, but turn it so that that arrow is along one of the lines from the border print, falling just within the seam line so it'll give a nice frame. Draw a portion of the design directly onto the template, and that's going to serve as a guide because we're going to pick the template up, flip it, and find the exact same spot that's the reverse of what we already cut. You cut those 2 pieces out, and then cut 2 more that are identical. So you'll have 2 going one way and 2 that are the reverse, and they will come together to form the diamond. Now we can make a border print tumbling block pattern with this fancier diamond. This would be the light. You can add fabric in the dark from another border print and in the medium. And you can repeat these. Of course, I'm showing here the same one repeated over and over, but you could do it all with different scraps of border prints to create a really spectacular quilt. One problem, I say problem, but one issue to deal with is the fact that within that circle, you will see there are 12 points coming together, so you have to be very careful to try to get those to meet, and it's difficult. It's hard enough to get 8 points to meet, but when you get as many as 12, it's more difficult. When I was writing my book, Quilt Making by Hand, I wanted to show how to do these border print baby blocks, but I realized that might be an issue getting all those pieces to come together for some people. So I created another pattern that I call Triple Play. This has the border print baby block in it, but other fabrics as well, so that where they come together, instead of 12 points meeting, you never have more than 6 meeting at any one time. So that's the block for the quilt. It's very interesting. If you turn the block upside down, you get a completely different vision. It's sort of an optical illusion. The one on the left looks like the blocks are coming forward. The one on the right looks like they're inset somehow, and you see it even more prominently when you look at the quilts actually side by side. Here's the one version, and if you just turn that quilt upside down, you'll see the other one a little bit opposite. Now this quilt, as I mentioned, there's a pattern for it in my book, Quilt Making by Hand. I tried those border print diamonds in a little bit different way. First of all, from leftover pieces of border print, I cut these stars. I needed 6 identical places along the border print for each star. And I cut them out, and my idea was to set them together with black diamonds between them. When I put them on top of a piece of black fabric, I was concerned that there were places where there was a black background in the stars. They just kind of bled into that black background, and I thought, I need a border print diamond in there as well. I like the touch of black, so I looked through my fabrics and I found this one that has black in between, and I thought, well, I could take one of those little narrow stripes and incorporate the black, which normally would be seam allowance in this block, and use that for the diamonds. So I created the diamonds exactly the same way. I cut one reverse. Once again, you'll want to mark a part of the design onto the template for a guide. Then you cut 2 one way, 2 another way to create the diamond. And I liked the appearance of this so much more than just the plain black fabric. I liked that little edging. So I sat down to calculate how much fabric I was going to need to get that little diamond out of the fabric. And was kind of a shock when I came up with the fact that I was going to need 17 yards of fabric. So that was a no-no, and I thought, well, I got to get creative here. So what did I do? I designed a fabric to use for that purpose. Here's my mini stripe. I've done it in several different colors, and instead of 17 yards, depending on the size of your quilt, you may only need between 1 and 2 yards of fabric because there's really no waste. When you cut the pieces, I needed 2 stripes facing each other, coming together. So these were a row of all B templates. Then I would have flipped the template and done another row in the reverse to get the reverse pieces that I needed. And here you see those with the new mini stripe diamond. And I think it's just quite effective in setting those stars apart. This is a really fun quilt to do because you can just experiment with leftover pieces of border print. We do have the pattern on our website, jinnybeyer.com, and we also have kits. If you want to just try it in a smaller version, you can make our table runner. We have 2 colorways in the teals and the reds that I just showed you previously. Here's the top that I made on the right. We have a template set. This is bigger than the one you used for the diamonds in the last lesson because the stars, to really set them off, I wanted them to be a little bigger. So that is available as well. And just another way to work with your border prints to create interesting effects. I hope you have fun experimenting with these diamonds. Till next time.